Meryl Streep was a star in Hollywood. People thought she was perfect and in control. She never seemed to get upset or angry with anyone. Now Meryl Streep is 76 years old, and she is talking about things she never talked about before. She said there are some actors that she really does not like. In fact, Meryl Streep said she hates them. When she said the names of these actors, it was a shock to everyone in Hollywood. Meryl Streep had never said anything like this before, so it was surprising to hear her be so honest. These were not figures or petty rivals, they were true legends, the very people that audiences thought Meryl Streep admired the most. What really shocked everyone was how honestly Meryl Streep talked about them one by one. When the reasons why Meryl Streep did not like them were out, people would never think about those movies and plays that Meryl Streep did with these legends in the same way again. Meryl Streep was very honest about these legends. That is what shocked people. Number 1. Kevin Kline. The first person she thought of was Kevin Kline, the guy she acted with in the movie Sophie's Choice that came out in 1982. When you watch the movie, it seems like they really like each other. They act well together that people thought they were meant to be. When the camera was not rolling, things were not good. When they were getting ready to film, you could feel how tense it was between Kevin Kline and her. It was almost too much to handle. Meryl Streep later said that this was one of the things she has ever done in her career. It was not the part that was hard, it was her co-star Meryl Streep just could not get along with. Meryl Streep found it really exhausting to work with this person because Meryl Streep did not like them all. Meryl Streep had spent months getting deep into the role of Sophie. She studied what Holocaust survivors had to say, learned Polish and German, and carefully put together every part of Sophie's personality. On the hand, Kevin Kline did things differently. He used his instincts and emotions to act. He liked to improvise. He did not prepare much as Meryl Streep did. This difference between them caused problems on the set of the movie. It was like a war. Nobody was saying anything. The set was very tense because of the way Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline worked. Sophie was a role to play, and the way they worked was making it even harder. The crew members remember a tense rehearsal. This is where Kline said something that seemed simple. It was not. He asked, "Are you sure the audience will care more about your accent than what Sophie's feeling?" This made Meryl Streep very upset. To Meryl Streep, the way Sophie's voice shook was not something she did on purpose. It was a sign of all the things Sophie had been through, like trauma and loss and trying to survive. When Kline did not think it was important, it felt like he was saying Sophie's story was not true. The crew members recall that Kline's words made Meryl Streep feel like Sophie's feelings were being ignored. Meryl Streep thought that Sophie's voice was a part of who Sophie was. Kline did not seem to understand that. When the filming was finished, he made things worse by saying that Meryl Streep's approach was too academic in an interview. He probably thought it was not a deal, but Meryl Streep found it very insulting. Meryl Streep and Kevin Kline never worked together again. Even though Meryl Streep was polite to Kevin Kline at award shows, you could tell they were not close anymore. Kevin Kline, the man who helped Meryl Streep give one of her performances, was the first person on Meryl Streep's list of people she did not want to work with again. Number 2. Jeremy Irons. If Kevin Kline had been a hurt that never went away, Jeremy Irons was a mark that got more painful over time. When you think about it, they should have worked well together. Two good actors, trained in the old way and loved for how well they acted. When they started working together on a movie, it became clear that they were very different people. Jeremy Irons acted like he was carving stone. He was very careful, elegant, and always in control. Meryl Streep did things differently. She made her characters seem real by using her feelings. She added lots of details to make them seem like they had really lived. This included sad times and painful experiences. At first, people just disagreed about work things. It got worse, and they started to really dislike each other, Meryl Streep and the other person. They had much dislike for each other that it was hard for them to work together, Meryl Streep and her co-workers. One rehearsal was really bad. It made the whole room feel uncomfortable. Irons did not like her accent. Said it was just about showing off, not about really feeling the emotions. This might have seemed like a thing to some people, but to Streep it was a big deal. She said that the way someone talks a part of who they are, not just something they can learn. Saying that it is a technique is not right, she thought. It is like saying that where someone comes from and how they grew up does not matter. This made her very upset because she was trying to play a person and she wanted to do it honestly. After that, things were not the same between them. Irons thought she was selfish, liked to be in charge all the time, while she thought he was not very emotional and seemed empty inside. Every time they were in a scene together, it was like a fight. They would look at each other with eyes. The air was cold between them, and you could feel the tension even if you could not see it. The people who worked with them said they had never seen two actors who seemed close but really were not close at all. Irons and this woman had a strange relationship. Irons and she were like two people who did not get along. Jeremy Irons was not the second name on her list. He was the person who reminded her of the moment when she stopped looking up to someone. Jeremy Irons was the moment when she started to dislike someone she used to like. This was very sad because Jeremy Irons and this other person were both very good at what they did. They should have been able to do something together. They did not. Instead, they did nothing. That is all that is left. Jeremy Irons is a reminder of this silence. Number 3. Alec Baldwin. People in Hollywood were really surprised that a movie like It's Complicated had many problems. The way Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep worked together on set was an issue. The director, Nancy Meyers, thought that Alec Baldwin would be good at making things up as he went along, and that this would work well with Meryl Streep's careful way of acting. This did not work out as planned. Meryl Streep looked at her character Jane Adler closely and tried to get everything just right. On the hand, Alec Baldwin did things his own way, changing lines and adding jokes without telling anyone, which messed up the whole scene. Meryl Streep felt that all this chaos messed up the part of the film. She said that comedy has to be real. This is what she said after one rehearsal did not go well. Alec Baldwin did not agree with her. He thought that what is real comes out at the moment. Neither of them would give in. Every scene they did was like a fight between being in control and being over the place, between following the rules and just going with it. Alec Baldwin would later think the tension was funny. For Meryl Streep, this fight made her really angry even if she did not show it. Number 4. Jack Nicholson. People really wanted to see Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson act together in a movie. They wanted to see what would happen when these two great actors shared the screen. It never happened. This was not because they did not want to work. It was because Meryl Streep said no. Since the 1970s, movie studios tried to get Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson to act together. They thought that if these two famous actors were in a movie, it would be a hit. Meryl Streep did not want to act with Jack Nicholson. She did not like the way Jack Nicholson acted. Jack Nicholson liked to use his personality, instincts when he acted. Meryl Streep, on the hand, liked to prepare carefully for her roles. She thought that her way of acting was very different from Jack Nicholson's way of acting. Meryl Streep spent a lot of time learning about the way people speak and getting into the character she plays. On the hand, Jack Nicholson does not think this is necessary. He actually said that preparing for a role is not really useful. For Meryl Streep, being real and authentic is very important. When she heard Jack Nicholson talk badly about preparation, she did not want to work with him. The person who helps pick actors for movies, Julia Taylor, said it simply. Jack Nicholson is what Meryl Streep does not like about famous people. Even when they saw each other at award shows and were polite, Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson really did not like each other. Number 5. Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow was something that really bothered Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep was frustrated with Gwyneth Paltrow because she thought Gwyneth Paltrow had it easy in Hollywood. Gwyneth Paltrow had a mom, Blythe Danner, and a famous dad, Bruce Paltrow. It seemed like Gwyneth Paltrow did not have to work hard to become a star. Meryl Streep thought that Gwyneth Paltrow was about looking good and being famous, not about really acting and being true to herself. Gwyneth Paltrow had a lot of things going for her, like her family and being in the place at the right time, rather than putting in a lot of effort to become a great actress like Meryl Streep. The problem started in 1999 when Gwyneth Paltrow won the Oscar for Shakespeare in Love. Meryl Streep was also nominated that year for one thing. She thought the whole thing was more about selling the movie than giving awards to the people who deserve them. Meryl Streep was really upset, you could tell. Even though she did not say Gwyneth Paltrow's name loud, everyone knew who she was talking about. As time went on, Gwyneth Paltrow and Meryl Streep became very different. Gwyneth Paltrow liked being a celebrity and making money from her name. Meryl Streep was about making good movies and being a great actress. The distance between them was really clear for a time. They would see each other at events and they would talk to each other, but it was always brief and polite and cold. The distance between them remained clear for years. Number 6. Dustin Hoffman. The biggest hurt for Meryl Streep was Dustin Hoffman. What happened between them started on the set of Kramer vs. Kramer back in 1979. Dustin Hoffman slapped Meryl Streep in the face without telling her first. This was not part of the acting. It was really embarrassing for her. Meryl Streep thinks that acting is about working and trusting each other. So she felt like Dustin Hoffman did not respect her all. Dustin Hoffman liked to do things in an unpredictable way. Meryl Streep liked to plan everything out and be prepared. These two ways of working did not get along. Director Robert Benton had to step in a lot to balance things out. He had to deal with Dustin Hoffman's way of making things up as he went along and Meryl Streep's careful approach. Both Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep did a job and won Oscars for it. Dustin Hoffman got the Oscar for Best Actor and Meryl Streep got the Oscar for Supporting Actress. Even with all the success, Meryl Streep was still hurt by the experience. She never worked with Dustin Hoffman again. Meryl Streep said that working with Dustin Hoffman was good for her career, but it was very hard for her personally. 6 actors, 6 grudges, and not a single reconciliation. From Kevin Kline to Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep's rarely spoken rivalries reveal the unseen intensity and vulnerability behind Hollywood's polished surface. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold Hollywood rivalries.